Jack Eichel, the biggest talk. Do you think at this point is he going to get traded? And if so, where do you think he's going to go? I'm going to ask Jage.
Yes and no. I think he's going to get traded, but I think it's going to be once the season's already started. I think it'll all depend on how Buffalo does. If Buffalo starts off strong out the gate, I think that might encourage them to trade him with his value even higher than before. Where if Buffalo's still not playing well, losing games, I think Buffalo could sit on him until the trade deadline and still see if there's a good enough offer. I'm not sure if any team even has, or is it willing to offer enough to even get him, but if any team, I think it'd be LA making a desperation trade, trying to get back into the fold with Kopitar and Drew Doughty, and they'll probably give up way too much for him. Way too much future, I should say. Way too much future.
That's fair.
Interesting, James.
I think, yeah, obviously eventually he's going to get traded. The big question is when, but I think that when is really determined by what the heck is, still no one knows the situation with his surgery and, what his rehab's going to be. Is he doing the surgery? Is he not? If he does do the surgery, how is he going to look after it? That's still too much of a question mark, and I think that's obviously what's bringing down his value too much. And I think until there's any, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, Austin, but, I don't think there's any new information that I don't know of about the injury, and, and not until anything like that is figured out. I think that big unknown is really dragging his value into the ground. So if the GM isn't willing to trade him for pennies on the dollar, I think the only thing that would allow him to be traded is good news to come out about that injury situation, which I don't think there has been yet. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What is the situation, Austin?
Recently, I heard that he is in fact going to be getting the surgery.
He is. So
I think what the plan is he's going to come into training camp, because you can't just do the surgery and put him on IR. He has to come into training camp, see the doctor. The doctor will say, okay, you can now go get it. I don't know which surgery he's going to get, because there's two different surgeries. There's the one that he wants, and there's the more common one. I think he's going to just get the more common one. But it'll have him out till December.
Okay, so there's not a chance he gets traded, in my opinion, this year. 2022.
No. Interesting. Okay. Connor.
If that's the most recent news, I'm absolutely with James. He's not getting traded this year. If Jack Eichel was going to get traded, it was going to be in the off season where they can get the surgery done so he can make the season started. That obviously hasn't happened, so he's going to miss basically most this year. And no team's going to make the commitment right now to do that. But, I mean, if Eichel was to, withhold from playing for the team until he got that surgery, for instance, prior to that news, then I definitely could have seen him getting traded really early.
Why would you strap yourself with $10 million of cap when he's not going to be playing half the year?
Because you can put that
I guess you're right. I guess you are right.
Hold on. Who said Seattle would take Carey Price earlier in this call? I just want to remind everyone of a player making $10 million who might have been hurt getting taken. So just bring that up.
Thank you.
Yeah,
JJ.
but that's a little different. You're not giving up and you're not subtracting.
Yeah, but you don't give up all these future assets.
You're giving
Jack
up $10
Eichel.
million of cap.
Yeah, you're getting all these things for Eichel, who's signed for 5 more years. I don't think you care whether or not he plays 2 months or not. This is a long-term investment. It's
a long-term investment, but I think the teams that really need and will try to make the push for Eichel are going to be the teams that are, they need that center to compete. And I know we talk a lot about LA and the Rangers or Columbus, but why would Eichel want to go from a rebuilding team to another rebuilding team? I think realistically he wants to go to a team
Eichel doesn't have a say, that's why.
How can you evaluate future value when you don't know what he's going to look like coming out of the surgery at this point? That's the biggest question, right?
I actually want to add to that. My stepdad, he played hockey for Ohio State back in the day in the cross-checking era, and he got a very similar procedure to the one Eichel wants to get way after his career. And his back, shoulders, and everything, it's a mess. The guy wouldn't be able to play contact hockey after it. So just from seeing what my stepdad's gone through with that, I would not pay big money for a guy making $10 million, knowing that he wants to get something.
And that's why they can't get a first round pick for
the
him.
hold up.
So you can't get a first overall or first round.
That's what the holdup's been. Is teams like they want to give the pieces, but they're scared. Like apparently, it came out that like over half the league agrees with the Sabres. They wouldn't greenlight that surgery he wants. So I think I definitely think they could get the pieces. I just think they don't. They want to get more. Like I think they have no issue getting a first round or a couple prospects, but I don't think it's what the Sabres want. And what I think almost might happen, and this is going to be disgusting, is I could see a team like Vegas, once Eichel gets put on IR for surgery, throw a bunch of guys at him, and just do a Tampa to just keep him on IR till playoffs.
That's true.
They don't have to worry about shedding the cap. You just put Eichel on that team, and all you get rid of is draft picks and prospects. I could really see that happening, and that gives them a whole year to rehabilitate. The only issue that I see with that is, and the biggest issue is the Olympics. Eichel's going to want to go play. If he's better in December, he's going to go play in the Olympics.
True, and I can't wait to see Team China play.
Oh, poor Team China.
That's another thing, yeah. Olympics, I mean, that could affect lots of trades this year. How many players are going to go over there and get hurt? And especially if you have a guy getting experimental back surgery and he's going to play those extra games in the Olympics against some KHL Russians who are not fans of North American hockey players. Anything can happen, especially to superstars. And that's why GMs haven't sent their teams before.
Yeah, and it's going to have to come down to whether it's Buffalo or someone else holds Eichel's rights. Do you send him over and risk the potential of him getting hurt?
I mean, the NHL said they're going to.
If he's healthy, I don't think you're not going to stop him. If he's healthy, there's no way.
If you're Buffalo and you have this guy that you're trying to flip for a lot of picks and you send him over and he gets creamed into the boards, you just lost him for nothing. He didn't even help your team. He helped someone else.
Okay, yeah, but question is, can a team realistically stop the players from going?
I believe, the team has to greenlight it. Because this was the main reason why they didn't go in 2018 was in 2014 Tavares got creamed by a KHL defenseman. Got injured and there's no compensation for it.
Yeah, but I believe there is compensation financially wise. There's a lot of compensation and a lot of money going towards the NHL now. So that's the reason why they said, okay, we're going.
I don't know. I would love to know the answer to that on whether or not if the NHL wants to send a guy, but the team doesn't, what's the rule there? Because if Buffalo goes, we don't want to send Eichel. He's our most valuable asset. He hasn't played yet and he can get hurt. We don't want to send him. But on the NHL side, they go, well, we want to send him because that'll be great marketing for us. Who wins that argument?
Gary Bettman. Every time.
Bettman
every
probably.
time.
Because then it comes down to owners versus the league. And the league doesn't like to fight the owners. But then how many owners are going to support what, right? So I think the pressure's on to make this not a messy situation, but I think it's going to get messy. I think it's going to get a little bit more messy than it already is.